Let me see if I can now send this one to somebody.
I don't know how they could be waiting if you.
I don't think they can be
started one,
waiting. I don't
right?
understand that either. Yeah.
Do you think you maybe started one and then?
No.
Close out?
Okay, let me just message these folks and give them this. Sorry, guys. We can go back anyway. This is kind of intense stuff anyway. It'll take us several times of going over this stuff for it to really kind of click, if you will. So what is a VTA verb? You guys understand what it is so far? Kind of. Joe, not at all.
It's a very technical.
That's a great way of saying it. I
I
like that, very technical analysis.
Okay, so VTA.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's a great way of saying it, actually. Very
Yeah.
technical.
A vertical tree answer.
It's animate versus, or animate to animate, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so like an animate person talking to somebody else, or it can also be an animate object. So
Mhm.
like if you're talking about sema or something like that, you would use this type verb in interacting with that sema. Or you're talking about a pipe and interacting with that pipe. You would, or an animal,
Yeah,
exactly.
and our honor songs are usually like Giwabama, we see you, and then like our
Gi
eagle
Nodwa,
song is
Nodwa,
we see you, eagle.
Yeah, I
No,
say, yeah, the
maybe.
form that you're seeing right there is
Yeah. they're
that
different
very
ones.
first one that.
Yeah.
Right here.
Giwab, yeah.
Yeah, I see him or her. So the
But-
Nondwa or the Wabma.
We do have Nwa and something, but I don't know. if I
And
have to
Weejawa.
look at that one. Weejawa, yeah.
You have to go to a company.
Weejawa or something like that.
Yeah,
Of course, we're using the Jibwe because that's how the
that's okay.
music is, and
Uh-huh.
nobody wanted to conform to Kano. So I'm like, okay. So we do Mega Z, but then Mega Z can be used like, we decided that's very.
I'm not here to,
VTA stuff, like, is there stuff like this in English? Like there's types of verbs like that?
I don't
would
think
be
so.
for-
English,
They
the,
don't, like,
the
use the
reason English,
terms, you know what I mean?
they don't use, well, they use the terms for like linguistically, like you can find other languages that use these type verbs. English doesn't really, but that's because English, all your information about who's doing it is not connected. So it's like the I is by itself, the use by
Yeah.
itself.
Right.
So it's not in like a, it's not connected into the verb like that. So it wouldn't have that kind of thing. I think,
It wouldn't break down
Doesn't
like
need a
that. 'cause
No.
It doesn't do it.
no. No. Hopefully somebody will find their way in here now. Okay, I've done what I can here. Hopefully it works. Where did it go? There we go. Hey, there's somebody in there. We got people in here. Okay. It worked, surprisingly. Okay, miracles do happen. Today was a Christmas miracle. Oh my goodness, it's not coming in good though. Yeah, Lee, that's not coming in.
So we lost Kevin.
Was he in the room for a minute?
He was in the other room for the last 15 minutes.
Well, the original link didn't work that I was trying, and it acted like it was shut off. So I'm trying to figure out. Camera here.
I think that he messaged you as well. So if you want to,
Send him an email or a message that with the new link, so hopefully he'll see it.
I was like,
just gonna try to make this
I
thing.
know I know her.
But I don't know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
You doing all right?
Yeah. I thought, I was like,
Well, that's weird.
You could have
Did-
on
did
the
you guys-
phone more. than anything.
yeah. Did you tie your hair?
I have lots of gray hair though, but I could be more white-headed if.
Let's see. Let's see here.
I was like, I know we've talked before. I was like,
I don't remember
Man, this
that.
is not coming in good today. It's really,
have to.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
flip that
You
light
can
on
leave your
now?
hat on.
Yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
this life.
I was pretty sure, I mean, I don't remember names really well, so give me your name again.
Cole?
Oh, see,
Yep.
I should remember
Yeah.
that.
I'll
I'm gonna think of, this is not a fun way to think of be thought of as like Santa's coal and the deal, but maybe I'll remember. That's a cool name.
I was constantly bugging you
Let's
about
see, yeah.
That's okay,
genealogy.
was it the, yeah, that's okay, that's all right.
Figured out a lot of stuff though.
There's a lot of stuff out there. You were on the right track.
Still got it.
Don't worry
Now it's got a
about it.
glare. Maybe we could do that one over here.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
This is good. This is
I
good.
Scan off.
got a long ways to go. I'm
Oh,
not close.
well, you
I don't know why it's like that.
Relax, quit being.
Oh wait, I know what's wrong.
Yeah.
You're a perfectionist, aren't you?
There's only
So,
one thing
yeah,
up
you
here. It's
want
actually, I
things
think this is
perfect,
working now.
And you
Hold on.
know it's not gonna be that
Let me try
way,
this
so
one.
just relax
Go
and
with-
enjoy the party
go with
and the
the flow,
journey,
you know?
okay? But.
Can anybody
you
see
know
this at
yourself
all
on that
over
way
there?
too, and it's hard. I don't get a lot
I don't
done.
get what's
because
going
I
on
just
with this
have to have it perfect, and so
Is there writing on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, then that would be your answer.
Yeah.
So,
Looks like a white screen to us.
yeah,
I
it
know.
does look white. I will say that the last couple of classes, your camera had to readjust focus before we could see it.
I'm using a different camera today too, which is really a mistake of mine. Perhaps. I'm going sideways, I'm upside down. Try it. There we go.
Something a lot of like TV, like families, whatever.
Oh, wow.
There's been a lot of. And there's a guy who's one professor, she kind of corrected me, whatever. I guess he's a
That's
distant
about where it
family
works.
member, but he's not. He's not.
Um,
Doing it for years, working with museums, and I guess back
Still that
when they
glare,
first
though.
started doing that stuff. And you know, there's just because you're not educational.
Where you had it a minute ago, I could see the red for sure.
But
I
I
never actually
thought it was
did
cool. He
that.
was a family member.
What is up with this thing? This
This
thing is something else. It
How to
usually
see
picks
where
up,
you
but
were
Are you using your blue thing as your camera?
Yeah,
yeah, I've used this thing too.
Well, it's the best
Okay,
important
I may have to
know
go
where these
steal
little
Robert's
things so that you
camera real
don't
quick.
have
If y'all
to-
just hold forth 1 second,
You want me-
I'm
is
gonna
he
go.
there?
He should be back in his office.
I can go get it. Is it on the tripod?
Yeah,
Okay.
this thing is not working.
No, do that.
This is a fail by me. That's what technology does. Okay, we're gonna start talking about it again here real quick, and they're gonna get me a different. Or Zara's gonna grab me another camera, so I appreciate this. We're gonna see if that works. Okay. In the meantime, we're just gonna talk about it a little bit here, and I'll try to explain it in a way that you guys can see it, or mentally maybe, mentally see it. And I'll see if I can even bring this up at some point. There we go. Right there. So, sorry for that. VTA verbs. VTA verbs are the verbs where it's like someone interacting with someone else. And I may have to do this for a second here, just bring this up and set it back down. So the basic ones, a lot of times we see them come up in sentences and example sentences we've made. So a VTA verb is an animate person interacting with an animate person or an animate thing. So it could be me talking to her, she talking to me, That's okay, Storm. Let me go ahead. I'll do it. It's okay. Yeah, we're having a technical issue here.
You want to scoot the table closer? That way you can set it on top of
I
it.
don't know if that would work. Actually, that might work.
Yeah, because there's plenty enough room.
Actually, let's do that. That's a good idea. We can just do this, and then it might work. Maybe just there we go. That might work.
Sounds so ghetto.
And it really is. But we're using our Indian ingenuity here. Indian ingenuity. There. Is that any better? Can you see that?
That looks good.
Ingenuity.
Indeed.
Okay, we're doing Speaking of that, the back end of this thing just fell off. Oh, that's really funny. 'Cause all this stuff is recorded. So it's delightful. Okay, so I think we're ready. We can rock and roll now, maybe. Gawabman, I see you, Gawabman. So this one we see a lot when expressions like Bama Mina Gawabman, later again I'll see you. Now the thing with these VTA verbs is there's kind of a hierarchy to them. So you comes before me or he or she, and that one comes before they or us. So if there's a you involved, like you see me, they see you, whatever, the G is always at the front, always up there. If I'm involved, usually that N is usually up front too, unless there's a G, because the G, which is you, trumps the N. So Gawabman, I see you. Nawab ma, I see him or her. Nawab ma. Can y'all online see this now?
Yeah, it's blurry, but we can see it.
Somewhat. Let me see if I can. Ooh, that looks better.
Much better.
Okay. Nawab ma, I see him or. So this one we've used a lot, like Nawab ma o sucks. Yeah, I see the deer. Nawab ma o namosh. I see the dog. So I see him. Gawab manem, I see you all. The difference between Gawab men, I see you, and I see you all is just this EM. So Gawab manem. What the hell going on now?
This 2.0 has been connected.
It's for dead. Okay. Gawab manem, I see you all. I figured something out. Sorry. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Okay, I'll take this.
I so appreciate you though. I'll bring it back to him later.
Okay,
I don't want, I appreciate you.
yeah, no problem.
Because that definitely would have resolved it. I think I got
Yeah,
it working.
think you got great. Well, it's there in case something
Yes,
happens.
I'm so
alright?
thankful. Miigwech,
Alright,
miigwech.
see you guys later.
Yeah, Gawab manem, I see you all. Gawab manem, I see you all. Nawab mak, I see them. Nawab mak, I see them. So this is another one we've used a lot. Like I see the geese, I see the dogs, I see the chickens, whatever. I see those people. Nawab mak. Okay. Now, okay. The you and you all, these ones are good to stay together because they're very similar. I really think that these are easier to understand if you can study these two together. Gawabum, you see me. Gawabum. But you all see me. Gawabum. So all you've done is add that M. So Gawabum, you see me. Gawabum, you all see me. Gawabma, you see him or her. We use that a lot. Gawabma. Gawabmawa, you all see him or her. All you've added is this wa. And one thing I also might note here, if you guys ever remember those kind of these neen, geen, ween type things, you can kind of see these inside of these patterns. I'll show you what I mean here. So neen kind of means I, geen means you, ween means he or she, neenon is us, not you, geenon, us all, geenwa, you all, weenwa, they. My chicken scratch. I apologize already. Okay. This neen, I, geen, you, ween, neenon, us, but not you, geenon, us all, geenwa, you all, weenwa. You can kind of see this inside of here. So you all see him. So there's the G from the geenwa, you all. It's inside of some of these. You can kind of see them. And they're even more prevalent in the he or she. You really can see like almost the neenon, geenon side of these. That makes them easier to understand, I think. These two are the same. Gawab meeman, you see us, or you all see us, but not you. Gawab meeman, they're the same. Gawab mak, you see them. We've done a lot of examples with gawab mak. And all you do here is you go gawab mawak. You add that wa in there for you all see them. So gawab mak, you see them. Gawab mawak, you all see them. Again, gawab mak, you see them. Gawab mawak, you all see them. These VTAs, we're gonna have to talk about these verbs. This is not like a one-time, hey, you've mastered your VTA verbs. This is gonna be a multi-level conversation about these because they're kind of complicated. You got to get used to them, but don't get frustrated by them. If you've got those other verbs down, hey, you're halfway home. You got those figured out. You're doing good. Don't allow these to be like, oh man, no, you can get them. I promise you can get them. You just got to got to drill yourself the same way you might have had to drill yourself in the beginning to kind of remember those other patterns. So I'm gonna move this over a little bit, maybe. Get down. No.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Now, here's the ween, or the he or she, and the ween-wa, they. They are also very similar. So it's good to study these two together. The wab muck, he sees me. Me is more important. So it goes up here. The wab muck, it's more important. Gawab muck, he sees you. You is always in front if you's involved. Gawab muck. The wab mugnan, he sees us but not you. The wab mugnan. Now, if you can remember Ninon, that's us but not you. It's right inside of there. There's the N, there's the non. The wab mug non. He sees us but not you. The wab mug non. Gawab mugnan, he sees us all. Gawab mugnan, he sees us all. Again, you can kind of see the ginon inside of there. Gawab mugnan, he sees us. Oh man, I took this one out over here with my elbow. Gawab magwa, he sees you all. Gawab magwa. You can kind of see the ginwa down there, which means you all. You can see the G, you can see the wa. Gawab magwa. I'm gonna change my color back because I just tore this one up. Okay, so, but these are very similar. So the wab muck is he sees me. The wab magok is they see me. The difference here is this okay. This ok at the end. See the wab muck. I mean that G, it's a G, yes, but it's pretty much the same sound. The wab muck, the wab magok, the wab magok. They see me. The wab muck, he or she sees you. Gawab magok, they see you. Gawab magok. Nawab magnanak, they see us but not you. But Nawab magnan was he or she sees us but not you. So all you've done between these two is you just add this EK again. So they see us minus you. Like I said, I took this one out with my elbow, so try to put it back together. Gawab magnanak, they see us all. Gawab magnanak. Yeah, I took this one out too. I took them all out. I just got wild over here. And then finally, Gawab magwak is they see you all. This one is they see us all. Now I know there's some questions out there, or at least maybe not some questions. There's at least some, whoa, wait a minute, whoa. So Nawab Muck, again, is he sees me. Let me change colors now. But Nawab Magok is they see me. Nawab Muck, Nawab Magok. All you've done is add this okay at the end, the difference between this one and this one. Gawab Muck, he sees you. They see you is Gawab Magok. Really, all you've again added is this okay. That's the difference between these two. Nawab Magnan, he sees us but not you. They see us but not you is Nawab Magnanak. All you've really added is this EK to that one. Gawab Magnan, he sees us all. Gawab Magnanak, they see us all. All you've really added is an EK between these two. Gawab Magwa, he sees you all. And then Gawab Magwak, they see you all. The only difference here is that. So these two make a lot of sense if you're going to make like some little cards or something and you want to study them or you want to look at them and group them. Looking at the he, she form and the they form at the same time makes a lot of sense because they're very, very similar. The difference is really minor. There's little things here that changed it. And you can even think of this like how we do if you think about pluralizing animals. How do we pluralize animals? Like Mako, how do we pluralize that?
With the K.
With a K. Bam, 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 bam. It's like there's the K in a way too. If you think about it like that, there's little things like certain things will kind of click for you sometimes. They're like, oh, that's similar to this. This is what always clicked for me was that the he or she form and the they form are very similar. The you and the you all form are very similar. The I is out there on its own. And then the we form is pretty simple too. There's only like a couple of them. So okay. Y'all are so quiet. Either you're in deep thought or you're like, oh my God, what have I done to myself? either or you're like, you're either in deep thought or you're like, man,
And we ain't telling.
this is too much. And that's right. Nobody wants to admit it. Like, okay. But this is one reason that I kind of hesitate sometimes to deal with these type verbs. But I do feel like that we're at a point with a lot of you guys in this class that some of you may not feel like you're at that point, but it's good to start at least addressing these and looking at them a little deeper. You're not going to learn these overnight. You're not going to learn these, in 2 days of mind doing them like 8 hours a day or however much time you have. It's going to take time. It takes time. The thing about these is it's always good to focus on the ones that you use the most. Well, a lot of these you do know already because we've used them a lot in sentences. You're not going to use probably a lot of the us but not used, us, that kind of stuff early on. You may not want to say that, but you may hear them come up. They may come up in like a prayer. They may come up in somebody talking. You may hear them more, but you don't have to necessarily talk like that. But you're probably going to hear the ones like Nawab Ma, that first set up here. We've heard a lot of these. This one's been used a bunch in sentences. That I see him or her, I see them form has been used a ton. So these ones should be somewhat familiar. This one you may have heard, like I said, in expressions. You may not have used it a bunch, but you at least heard it in some expressions. And then this one you've seen a lot right here. You do it, you see me, Gawab Ma. And you've seen this form too a lot. Gawab Ma, you see them. So you at least have a few of them that probably are somewhat similar, or not similar, but somewhat is what I'm trying to say. But again, if you go back to the you and the you-alls, in fact, let's just go back one more slide. Let's just start right here again and work our way across again. So, Gawab Men, I see you. Gawab Men. Nawab Ma, I see him or her. Nawab Ma. Gawab Manem, I see you all. Gawab Manem. Again, all you've added is this EM. Nawab Mak, I see them. Nawab Mak. Now, how could we change these into the past tense? What do you think?
Just add the gi the way you would the gi or the god, depending on how you're using it.
Yagi Wabman, I saw you.
Okay.
Nagi Wabma, I saw him or her. Gagi Wabmanum, I saw you all. Nagi Wabmak, I did see them. I saw them. So Gagi Wabman, I saw you. Gagi Wabma, I saw him or her. Gagi Wabmanim, I saw you all. Gagi Wabmak, I saw them. And with this form, you're usually going to use it's the gi. The ga one you're thinking of is mainly just the conjunct form. We're not doing the conjunct today. It's one piece at a time of the puzzle because there's also a bunch of them that are in the conjunct. So that now we had the majian, there's that pattern too for these verbs. But the thing about these is we start here, we get these down pretty good, then we can jump into those conjunct ones. There's no reason to just be like, I don't want you guys to leave here and feel like your mind just melted down or something like that. So, Gagi Wabman, I saw you. Nagi Wabma, I saw him or her. Gagi Wabmanum, I saw you all. Nagi Wabmak, I saw them. Easy peasy. And then what about the future with these? How would you say I will see you? We. Bam. So instead of that gi up there, all we need is a we. So instead of nagi, we'll go go wee wobman. And when we sing that song with the kids in the daycare, we always say, go wee wobman, I will see you. Again, go wee wobman. And then so how would you say I saw him or her? Nah. We wobma. The we wobma, I will see him or her. I will see you. Go wee wobmanum. What's that one? Go wee wobmanum. I will see you all. How about I will see them? So nagi, it's no we. No we wobmak. I will see them. How would you say, I'll wait till, no, I won't do that yet. It's not fair. I'm gonna wait till we switch things and make it easier. So again, I was like, go wee wobman, I will see you. No wee wobma, I will see him or her. Go wee wobmanum, I will see you all. No wee wobmak, I will see them. And if you write out these in different formats like this, sometimes that'll help you too, kind of remember, like you write the present tense, right there. Then you write the past with the same ones, and you write the future. You might even throw in like a should or could, like I should see you. Gada wabman, I should see you. Nawi or nada wabma, I should see him or her. Gada wabmanum, I should see you all. Nada wabmak, I should see them. A da, you throw a da in there for should or could. But if you write those patterns down like that, you kind of like, for me, and it depends how you learn. Each of us has different learning styles. Some of you, it's hearing the words and hearing them said over and over again. Some of you, it may be writing things out, auditory, and then some might really get things by like moving around and movement. Maybe you need to dance around while you're doing these, like da 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 da. I will tell you, one time I tried to put these to a song. Was unsuccessful, or it wasn't really, it was just a bizarre attempt, but I took like a Metallica song or something because I love Metallica, and I like had the music in the background. I was like, no, I was saying the words like with the music. It's a very bizarre attempt, but perhaps it worked for someone else in a better light. Mine was really just a personal thing where I was attempting to learn these back in the day many years ago, and I just thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool. I could put like some music to it, and then every time you hear it, you're like, okay. Because music definitely can help you learn language. So any little technique or idea that you can have for learning these can be helpful. I probably will make a set on Quizlet of like flashcards. Have a Quizlet program, and I can put audio on there too, which I think will be helpful for you guys. And then I can give you a link or whatever. And, like where you just hear, go wee wobman. And then you have to know, okay, I will see you. We'll see you. Or go wee wobmanum. I will see you all. No wee wobmak, I will see them. So again, it's just a matter of working these through, and sometimes making sentences with them helps. But the same thing over here. So you want to go and say something in the past with these, all you got to do is put your what? Where do you put it? Like in this one, kind of at the beginning, right behind this this other G, but like so. Gagi wabum. You did see me. Well, my research skills are not to par. So, how would you say you did see him or her?
Kiki Wama.
Gagi wabma. So, for example, how would you say? How would you ask the question? Did you see her at the store yesterday?
Kiki Wama.
That's just, did you see? Yeah. But you got the start of it. You see her at the store.
Wow, go.
Uh-huh. And then what's yesterday? Nago.
Nago.
Oh.
But you got the, you got the easy, you got the hard part actually. The gigi wab ma is the hard part. So you got the part we've been talking about. So if you want to say, did you see them in the store? You could say, yeah, you could say gigi wab ma ne dawal gum gok nago. Now myself, I would probably put the dawal gum gok up front. So I'd say dawal gum gok ne gigi wab ma nago. So dawal gum gok ne. So at the store question, you did see him or her yesterday. So did you see him or her at the store yesterday? Dawal gum gok ne gigi wab ma nago.
So,
How would you answer? Let's keep it simple. We'll go negative on this. We'll say, how'd you say I saw him at the store yesterday? So a lot of times, again, with these simple questions, you just have to turn them around. So
Kiki Wama.
exactly.
Welcome, go.
All you said the whole thing. All you got to do with these type questions is usually when they're you questions is just change the G to an N, drop your question in your name. So dawal gum gok nagi wabma nago. Dawal gum gok nagi wabma nago. I saw him yesterday at the store. I just wiped out something again. So dawal gum gok at the store. So if I take this off and I say nagi, that's how you answer this question. So dawal gum gok is supposed to be an A, I know. Dawal gum gok to the store. I did see him yesterday. Dawal gum gok nagi wabma nago. I did see him at the store yesterday. Now you could also put nago up front. You can say nago nagi wabma iba dawal gum gok. That works too.
I would just say ciao. So,
That's the reality. Now that's an excellent answer right there. In reality, most of the time, we're not going to answer in long sentences like that. We're really doing this just so you can grammatically understand how things work. Like I say in English, if somebody say, hey, are you hungry? What am I probably going to say? Yeah, no, or cho. I'm not going to say, yes, I am hungry. Or, no, I'm not hungry. I already ate yesterday. Or I already ate this morning or whatever. Yesterday, once a day, I guess. Bagadgy, a little bit. That's a great answer too. But we're in reality, most of the time, same with English, you don't tend to give storybook answers. We only do it just so that you can kind of see how it conjugates out. So should you desire to say, then you have that ability. So gagi wabum, you did see me. How would we say, did you see what I did yesterday? I'm gonna just take this out. I've already messed it up anyway. You got it, I think. So did you see what I did yesterday? So nago. You did, Ian, but ne. Gigi wabum.
Did.
What I did. Anybody know the verb to do something?
Okay.
Yetchke? Okay, how would you help out here? So she's got, did you see what I did yesterday? How can we say I did something in the conjunct, like in the past? So we got
Hey, Jan.
Jitchkeyan. And what's our past tense? It can be either or, but
Go.
ga works. Ga or egi. So nagone gagiwabam ga jichkean. So yesterday question, did you see what I did? Nagone gagiwabam ga jichkean. Yesterday question, did you see what I did? Or what? Actually, I've just messed this sentence all up. Time out here. Scan now. What am I doing here? I'm losing my mind. That's not what I'm. Did you see what I did to me? Oh Lordy, hold on here. You saw me.
You did see.
You did see what I did. Did you? Yeah. Okay. Oh no, I got it right. Now my English has messed me up. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah. So yesterday question. You did see me what I did. So did you see what I did yesterday? Sometimes when you regurgitate it back out in English, you're like, wait a minute, that's not, yeah, that's right. So nagone kagiwabam gajichkean. So yesterday question, you did see me gajichkean, what I did. So the second verb here, this is a VAI verb. This is jichke, the verb to do something. And this was a VTA. So yesterday question, you did see me gajichkean, what I did. So did you see what I did yesterday? Nagone gagiwabam gajichkean. So this is, I mean, one way you can really start using these kind of verbs. Let's see here. How about another good one? Okay. What if I said, let me change colors here. Saksiyakne gagiwab mak iba jig biak. Saksiyakne gagiwab mak iba jig biak.
Those
Did you see
deer,
those
did you
deer?
see by the creek?
Over.
Over the creek.
You're right on the right territory. Yeah. Just to be a little more specific, this is like the shore. But if you said
Shore.
by the creek, I mean, that works. I mean, it could be the shore of a river, it could be the shore of a lake, it could be the shore of the ocean.
You see the deer over there?
Yeah. Go ahead, say that. Yeah, exactly. Suksiak, so deer, question
Did he see deer by the shore?
by the shore. Yeah. So did you see them, those deer by the shore or by the, yeah, exactly. Suksiyakne, gagiwab mak iba jigbiak. So did you, and in English, you kind of spin around and say, did you see those deer by the shore? Over there by the shore? Did you see those deer over by the shore? Suksiak, deer, question, did you see them over there by the shore? Jigbiak. See, sometimes when you retranslate it, you know, to make it sound logical, if we did it word for word like that, sometimes it just, you're like, what? That sounds like some broken English, you know? Deer, question, did you see them over there by the shore? Did you see those deer over there by the shore? Suksi yakne gagiwab mak iba jigbiak. Suksi yakne gagiwab mak iba jigbiak.
So what is Eba
Over there.
over there? And then GBF is shore, right?
Yeah, shore. And this can be any type of shore. This could be the shore or beach. It can be like the edge of the water, basically. It's kind of another way to maybe literally looking at. That's why it could be like basically right by the water, because that's what that jig is saying. You're close to the water. It's usually a shore or I mean, theoretically, it could be like standing next to the edge of the creek, like or next to the lake, but a lot of times it's kind of translated as shore, but it's really like by the water, I guess, to be technical. Iba over there. Gagi wab mak. You did see them, dear, question. Now, how could we then turn this question into an answer? How could we, You always want to go Cho. We'll do Cho. We're gonna do Cho. She always goes negative on me. I try to avoid doing that because it's different, but that's okay. With this one, it's not. With this one, it's not that bad. So
Chonawama Saksiyak
Okay.
Ibad Jibaya.
I'm gonna put what you got down so far, and we'll see. We'll kind of work it together. Okay. See if we can work it out here. So Cho, Wabma, you said.
Yeah.
And then you said Saksiyak, maybe right here.
Yeah. Ibad Jibaya.
That's almost perfect. There's only one thing missing,
C.
and you really the C. That's the only thing really missing is
Oh, that
you
makes
gotta
it plural,
no, it makes
or
it
makes it
negative.
negative.
And you may not have known that. You just gotta plop that bad boy in there.
Cool.
So Cho Nawab Sik. So no, I didn't see them. Those deer, Iba over there by the water. Other thing you could throw in here if you wanted to, you could throw a demonstrative right up here and throw like a gi right there. Those deer. But if you don't throw it in there, it's not gonna hurt the sentence. Cho Nawab Sik. So I didn't see them. Those deer, gi Saksiak or just Saksiak, Iba over there, Jigbiak by the shore. Excellent. And I'm telling you, with those yes/no questions, they're real easy to like turn them back. All you got, if you listen to them real carefully, you can just basically re-answer it back. So like, are you hungry? Gabaktene. Yeah, I'm hungry. Or Gamajine, are you leaving? Namaji, yeah, I'm leaving. Or Cho, Namaji, si. I'm not leaving. Cho, Namaji, si.
You stuck with it.
With the negative, you always just have to remember that you're always going to have a Cho and a si in this form. Now, in the conjunct, to do the negative, you put a bawa in front of the verb. So like bawa, maji, yan. I'm not leaving. Ugh. You put this bawa up there instead of the si in the conjunct.
Hey, Justin,
Yes, ma'am.
why did the gi move out of the Nawab Masik?
I just added this in here. I was saying that she could, the way that she restated it, you could put that there. You could, because what I did was when I used the suck, see, yuck at first, I put them at the front of the sentence. If I recall, did I? Suck, see, yuck, man. I think so.
Yep.
I think I did. So because of that, I didn't really need a gi, and so I just threw the gi for those in front of the deer. And what I was saying is, the way she said it, she could just say it without the gi like that. But I'd probably throw a gi in there because usually whenever I have a noun that's kind of out there by itself, it has one of those demonstratives usually on it, like a gi for those or a goda for these, or if it's singular o, like o sucksi or o que. It usually has one of those in front of it, you know. But
So
it's not.
Past tense gi, it's just a those gi.
Yes, it's just a those gi. It's not a past tense. And I guess I did forget to put the past tense now that you mentioned it. She might have said it, but Nagi Wab Masik. Sorry, now I see why y'all are confused because you're like, how did the gi up here go over here? Sorry, no,
Two geese.
it's different type of gi. This is the gi for the past, and I didn't say it up there. You're right, Nagi. So I didn't see them. Thank you, Miigwech. This is just a those gi, and that's like I said. If you have a noun that's outside there, you usually would use like a that, those, these. And I might even show that real quick here, the demonstratives, just to kind of refresh everybody's memory. But so show Nagi Wab Masik. Gi Saksiak Iba Jigbiak. So I didn't see them, those deers over there by the water. That's funny. My wife just texted me and said, I got hired back for next year. It's always the strangest thing that teachers every year they like have to renew their
Have to worry about
contracts.
it?
Like so they could just be like, not hired back. I'm like, really? Like what? And they don't tell you until let's continue. They don't tell you till like, oh, it's clear. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and hire you back. And she just sent me a text. I was like, well, that's nice. I was thinking, how bizarre that is. I mean, you have to like wonder if you're gonna have a job the next year. Like, oh, you're not up to par. You're out. So I guess that's one way of doing what do you call it? What is that word for those like evaluations or something like oh, it's your annual evaluation. You either get a raise or you're not even welcome back next year. There you go. Anyway, sorry, that's just me. So let's make a couple sentences with some of these now. Okay, so we'll pick on the he sees you one here. We'll start with that, and I'll just take these off for a second. Whoa, that's weird. How could we say I want to do this one, but it's kind of a okay. I'm gonna do it anyway. um, let's see if y'all can figure this one out.
So what grade does your wife teach?
First grade. First grade.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Uh-huh.
I can't read. I can't erase.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I need to
No, I'm
slow.
just kidding.
Sorry.
What's the timeline on your baby?
May 9th is the due date of my next little one, but she
Oh,
never
sorry.
goes. No, that's fine. She never goes to full term.
Full term?
She's usually a couple weeks early. So my question is, yeah, it could be any day now.
Any day now.
So I like to look at my phone from time to time, make sure I don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm in labor. I went to Ada. See you later. Glad you're joining your class today. Like, okay. So Giwab Mak.
Nishwab texts a good birthday.
What's that?
Nishwab texts a good birthday.
Yeah. Is that when yours is?
Yeah, and my sister.
Nice. Nice. I mean, it's possible. I thought we were gonna have one right behind my other daughter, Peyton. Hers is the 9th. And I was like, yep, 9th, 10th. My older kids, I have the first is my older girl, Isabel. The second is my wife. The third is Kellen of March. So it's like 1, 2, 3. She gives me a hard time though, because I'm the only one born in July or June or August. So I've buffered myself from all of my children. None of them are in my month or even the month previous in front of me. So Nagiwab Makne Egi. Okay. Okay. Share. Share. Something around there. I don't write this. I gotta change it here. That's a weird thing. Okay. Nagiwab Makne Egi Pakeshanayan. Nagiwab. We're gonna focus on the top. I'll explain the bottom. Nagiwab Makne. So what we got here?
Did he see me?
Did he see me? Egi Pakeshnayan. When I fell. When I fell. The verb, a lot of times we see this verb as pukshin. Is how a lot of times we'll say it. The shin part indicates like falling or lying. But in this conjunct form, this ne flips over, and that's where you put the yawn on. But then you got another thing going on. The verb itself is pakeshin. But a lot of times we say napukshin, like I fell. But if I did it in the past, it wouldn't move over. So don't worry too much about that. I'm just letting you know this is when I fell. Maybe just write that. Don't write the rest of my
What about a
explanation.
gi?
Agi, I
Yeah.
did. That's
Okay.
that's the same as ga. You can
Oh, because
with the
it's
conjunct
demonstrative. I
with the
gotcha.
conjunct you can no it's not demonstrative, but
Oh.
you can use ga or agi for the past in the conjunct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use either or. Like if you prefer just to use ga, I'm cool with that. But there are some speakers I can think of, at least one. I think Jim does like to use sometimes that egi. The ga I've always heard in Kansas a lot, but they're the same thing. Egi or ga for the past. So me, I just kind of go between them. That way everybody's kind of familiar with both of them in case you run into somebody that might favor the ga versus the egi. And you're like, what is that? You know,
So can you do wall?
same thing.
And wah.
Yeah. wa or ewi. Basically, the little E at the front stops like a change that happens where it changes to an A sound instead of an I. But the E at the front stops that from happening, is what it does. There's a word for that in linguistics, but I don't know what it is. Like a vowel or blah, blah, I don't even know. I'm not even going to go there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and I've never known what that word is. So my thought is it's probably not going to be a problem.
You could say that the word is confusing.
Okay.
I'm sure that's not what it is in linguistics, but
Just confusing. Yeah, there you go. I try not to get too linguistic heavy with you guys. The main one I do is the verbal types. That's just 'cause I'm trying to identify what they are. I don't try to get into there's things called like vowel deletions and slides and glottal stops, and there's not a lot of glottal stops in our language, but mo'oi has one. Wolf, mo'oi. But
speaking of glottal stops, though, do you sometimes use the apostrophe in place of an accent on an E?
That's a good question.
mo'oi. What do you say that? Say that again. An apostrophe for like an eh, like that.
Yeah, like, do you sometimes
That.
use the other one just in typing?
Sometimes, and I will tell you why, because this is an actual like a symbol you have to do. Like you can do it in a Word document. You go insert symbol and you can get this E. Sometimes I will just throw that on there because it's just simpler like when typing. Like if I was texting, I don't have this character on my phone. So I just leave it off completely or I might just toss it up there like that. Yeah.
Okay, I've been noticing it because I switched to the computer and I only have the accents on my phone and I can't figure out how to do them on the keyboard.
I can tell you how to do them on the keyboard. Usually, if you're at least in there's a couple things. Like I had our IT guys make one of my letters that I don't use become that symbol. I don't know how they did that, but it's like this button on my computer that I never use for anything else. They changed it to that diacritical mark. But there is a way to do it in Word, at least, where you go like insert symbol. Like there's an area up there that says like symbol. Somebody else is saying something. Maybe they got a better idea. Hold down the letter. A box pops up. Really?
You can download an IPA keyboard too, like that has those.
Oh man. So here we got a few. So we got a few, man. There's the technology savvy people are here. IEP keyboard you can download is what Cole said. And someone else said that you can hold down on the E and then it'll pop up asking you if you want to do that. I didn't
I
know
was gonna
that.
say, at least in Google
Chrome or whatever.
Sheets, it doesn't do the box pop up because I use the box pop up on my phone,
Same.
Okay.
but it doesn't show up on the computer.
Interesting. Those are good things to know. I mean, it's nice to know. The good thing is I don't use a lot. Like there are some folks that use like the dot over the E and then these like double dots and
Oh, sure. Nice.
I don't. You did it to work. What'd you do now again?
Yeah, like my
So on like
keyboard will
yeah.
pop up.
hold down on it.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. Wow, look at that. Woo! Mind blown. That's great. Look at this. Look at this. Working together to solve the world's language problems.
Thanks,
I
you
like
guys.
it.
I'm gonna try and find the other keyboard and then it'll probably work after that on that.
Yeah, because she just tried it on her phone where if you hold down even just texting,
No,
it
it
would do
works
it.
on iPhone.
I didn't know that. I just got an
You didn't
iPhone.
know
Though. I just got an iPhone. I've been out of the iPhone. I don't even know how to do a lot of things on my iPhone, so I'm very confused. I'm like, I had an Android for a while. I had like an iPhone 1 back when it was real, but I've been Android for a long time.
I didn't say IEP, did I? IPA.
IP. I think I said IEP. No, you're right. That's a progress thing.
I was like, don't
Say it
don't
again.
download
Say it.
IPA.
IPA. You did say IPA, I think. I think I turned that into IEP. I meant IP.
I wrote down IPA.
So that was, yeah. IEP is like a progress thing for like if you have learning challenges or whatever, or whatever, like behavioral or different things. It's for kids and students and stuff like that. Yeah. IPA is the one you want.
Individual education plan.
Thank you, Miigwech. Individual education plan. Man, I should know that terminology. I have a bachelor's in education. Just have only been teaching Potawatomi all these years, so never did get a chance to teach any high school history, but okay. So let's get out of this for just a minute. I think this is a little heavy. I want to do a little something else. I got some fun sentences. Well, I think they're fun. They're all fun to me. But, I have some sentences I made up for outdoor things. If I can read them, I made the font unbelievably small.
Memorize it.
I mean, maybe it would help. Okay, I can kind of read it. Let's do them one at a time. Tony echikada quen neap. Tony echikada quen neap. Any thoughts? Anybody know what NAOP is?
Seen Tone before.
Never seen Tone either. Hey, then we got all kinds of stuff that's in there. That's
Is
okay.
it something to the effect of what are you doing? And I remember writing NAOP down like 2 days ago, but I don't remember that one.
That's good. At least you wrote it down 2 days ago. So it means we've at least talked about it one time. NAOP is back. Not like your back, but like back, like beyond NAOP, come back. That kind of back. So back. Tone is an interesting verb. Tone actually can mean a couple of things. Tone can mean, the verb itself means to have something or to put something. With this one, when you use it as a command, it just looks like, almost like it does in its verbal form. So tone, so put. What's knee? Any thoughts what that might be?
Demonstrative.
It is a demonstrative, yes.
It's not animate, so like that, or
You're on the right track, not that,
Those?
but those. Yes, look at you. Put those inanimate things. Echikadek. Echikadek is a thing that you play with, a toy. Echikadek when, because it ends in like this, this is the plural of it. So toys. Echikadek when nap. So put those toys back. Tony echikadek when nap. Put those toys back. Tony echikadek when nap. Put those toys back. Okay.
that's a good one.
How about this one? Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. If I ever go too fast for you and you were trying to write it down at home or whatever, or you're writing it out here, just let me know. I have no problem going back or slowing down. Or I mean, if I'm going too slow, I guess you can yell at me and tell me to speed up. Or we aim to please here in the language department. No.
I don't think you have those things on.
Huh?
Somebody told you to hurry.
Yeah, they did. I was like, that was weird. When they yelled at me, they used my own voice at me.
No, that was me, Jess. I was trying to remember the word and I thought I had the right word. So I looked it up on the dictionary. I wasn't muted. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It was my voice. I thought for a second you said that was your voice. I was like, man, you sound like me.
No. Yeah, you're right.
That's okay, Kevin. That's okay. I'm glad you're trying things out. But it freaked me out for a second. I thought, man, am I hearing things? Is this in my head or y'all's head? Am I just like somebody in my head yelling at me, hurry up? So Getagane Gi Zignadan. Wabak Abduk Nui Monshque. Anybody recognize any of these things? And even if you don't recognize them, maybe you recognize some parts of things that we can kind of Garden.
Garden.
Go. Or you passed.
Yep, that's you. This is garden. That was, like I said, you passed. Is this part. So you did, what's our name?
Question.
Question,
Mark? Zignadon.
planted
Yeah, that's
or
good.
weeded?
That's a good thought too. The don here means he did something with it.
Okay.
Water.
Oh,
It. So did you
The
water
Z
the
at the-
garden? Zignadon is to like pour liquid on it, to water it, pour something on it. So did you water the garden? Getagane, gegi zignadon. Did you water the garden? Wabak abduk nui monshque. Wabak abduk nui monshque. Tomorrow.
Must tomorrow.
into
Uh-huh.
home quick.
Tomorrow. And then what's abduk?
Have to,
Have to. Must. That's another way of looking at it. Must or have to. Yeah. Or must. Nui monshque. What's nui? I will. I think Storm already said that. I will. Right. We're going to. Weed. So that's why I said whoever said weed a minute ago, you're kind of close to that word. You're close to it. It's just one step down from you. So tomorrow have to the weed monshque. I'm gonna have to weed tomorrow. Wabak abduk nui monshque. Wabak abduk nui monshque. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to weed.
okay, so if I wanted to say yesterday I weeded, it would be Nago Nagi Monshque.
Yep. Nago nagi monshque. Oh, I left the letter out here. I'm sorry. S out.
That's what I was just about to ask. I was like, where's the S coming
I
from?
said it, but it's not there. Yeah, monshque. I said it, but I left it out when I wrote it. No. Nago nagi monshque. Yesterday I did weed. Yep. So tomorrow I'm gonna weed, or if you want to say today I'm weeding, you could say gom monshque. Weeding today. Gom the monshque. Weeding today. Good. Good. Wouldn't that? If I can read my small print here. Small. Oh, what I was thinking. Nipija Jayak Eyewat. Nipija Jayak Eyewat. Nipija Jayak Eyewat. Okay, so what's Nipija?
What?
You said it. Where? Not, sorry. I did say you said it, but I heard her whisper it, and then heard you, then you said it. So where? What would be like Nija or Wekni? So where? Jayak Eyewat.
Where's everyone?
Where is everybody? Where is everyone? Yeah. Jayak means everyone. Yay is to be in a location. So be in a place. And then our what means they. So Nipija Jayak Eyewat. Where is everyone? Nipija Jayak Eyewat. Where is everyone? Vasukdinovich at the lake. Vasukdinovich. Yeah. Ni jet soda baganak ga bamaptoya.
How many times?
So what is that together?
What time is it?
Yeah. What
What
time
time?
Going run, did you go for a run?
Did they go for a run?
You're right, but not just
They
you,
run.
you all.
Oh, you all.
So what time, ni jet soda baganak, like you said, how much is the measure, how much is the measure? What time is it? So what time did bamaptoyak, you all go for a run? Bamaptoyak. What time did y'all go for a run? Ni jet soda baganak ga bamaptoyak. Ni jet soda baganak ga bamaptoyak. How? And what if I said, Mianen opta nagi doki men mina gotwat soda baganakagi web bamaptoyak.
5:30, I woke up, and 6:30, I went and ran. We
You're
went and
really, really
ran.
close. You're very close. The only thing that you're missing here is,
I
so,
did. We all did,
no, we, but,
not me.
so we, because you remember you're telling somebody else. 'cause
We, but
obviously-
not you.
So at 5:30, said at 5:30, we woke up, not you, because you're asking the question. We woke and
6:30.
Gotwatso debuganak. Not 6:30,
6.
6. So at 6 o'clock, egi web bamaptoyak. Egi. The run is right there, bamapto, it's us, but what's the web? You almost got the whole thing. I mean, you got the gist
I
of it.
don't
either
know
way.
web.
What's the web? Anybody?
Pam?
Anybody? What's the web? Kevin? Oh, yeah, it's kind of ugly. It's right there. Right there. Web bamaptoyak. Start. So we started. Web is to start. So we started running. So like Stormy said, 5:30, neon and opta at 5:30, nagi doki men. Doki is the verb to wake up. So it's not just I. If it was nagi doki, the I woke up. But see, it's nagi doki men. So we woke up and mina gotwatso, and at 6 debugging at o'clock, egi web bamaptoyak. The yak is us, but not you. So we started running. So the whole thing would read, we woke up at 5:30 and at 6 o'clock we started running. Nianen optanagi doki men mina gotwatso debaganak egi webbamapdoyak. Nianen opta nagi doki men mina gotwatso debaganak egi webbamapdoyak. Nianen opta nagi doki men mina and gotwatso debaganak egi webbamapdoyak. That ain't happening to me. I'm lucky to get up. The only reason I get up early at all is because my kids. They have to be ready for school before. They'd be ready for school before I have to be at work. Otherwise, I'd probably be dragging in here like right at 8 o'clock. But by the time I've already woke up, I'm like, yeah, might as well go to work, get some stuff done. It's nice and quiet. Tagyam get Gishpen Ejiayani Bamikchui Gumgok Gijep. Nice and quiet, still early in the morning if you get there to work. So, okay, good. Wasn't that? Good job. guys are doing an excellent, Gedowegasm. Y'all are doing a great job. So you're really figuring a lot of these sentences out and kind of the structures. And that's the thing. If you understand those patterns that we've talked about kind of over and over again, the who, what, when, where's, you can kind of figure out what's going on, even if you miss little details. Like you could have missed the web right there. It's still got the gist of what's going on. You say you understood it was running us. You even could have missed the we, and you could, if you could have read it like Stormy did at first, where she said, "I did wake up." You could have read it like that, but you still would have got the understanding what happened. You still would have understood that. Okay, well they left it. They started running at 6, so you still could have got at least the running at 6 part, and it would have made sense in context. So that's good. Oh, another good one. Here, if I can read it. Maybe small. Oh, that's a good one. Whoa. Kind of stop there for a second. Bigay chika daman I kakizo kazowan. Bigay chika daman I kakizo kazowan. This is an interesting little sentence. So that put my little marker, change the colors here. When you have this gage and that men, it kind of means like let's. It's like immediate future. We're gonna do it. Like we will immediately. But if you say it out loud, it's like let's do it. Like gage we stimmen, let's eat. Gage chikadaman, let's play it. Eat the kuzo. Yeah, sorry, I gave away. So this is play. Lord have mercy. Oh, I'm trying not to stay in the way, but it's actually making it worse. Play something. And the verb here is chi ka dan. The verb to play something, play with it, play something. E kakizo kazoen. Anybody happen to know what kakizo is?
Kazo's pretend, isn't it?
Yes.
Kazo's
Okay.
pretend, yeah.
Look at you.
I think what cookies.
You got a gold star for that one, yeah. What'd you think? You have one you think? Kakizo kazo win. So win back here, we know it's a noun.
Kakizo, is that hiding?
Yes. Hide. So pretend to hide. So play hide and go seek, basically.
I have that in one of my pop-up books.
Yeah. So kakizo kazo. So to pretend to hide, hence play hide and go seek. So let's go play hide and go seek. Kage chika damen I kakizo kazo win. Let's go play hide and seek.
What about the Keno Kazo? The Keno Kazo.
The keno kazo?
Would that be for hide and seek?
Like that?
Maybe I got the,
It looks like eagle to
the
me.
G is just I think a spelling, like G and K, you know how they.
Yeah,
say
G and K's can
interchangeable?
be. It can be a G and a K. It could be kazo. Kazo.
So if you just said, let's play, you could say.
Well, if you just want to say let's play and you're not talking about that though, you can change. You could just say gage chika damen like that. Let's play. But you could also say gage chikaz men. So you can use the VAI form of the verb.
That's how I got it.
Gege chikasman versus gege chikadman. And actually, if you did it either way, it makes sense.
So that could be like a command though.
Yeah. It's like saying let's go do it. Let's do it. That's how we say let's in Pamir, but it's like a command form. Gege chikasman, so like let's go play, let's play. Gege chikadman, let's play. Both those work for that. Kazo, kazo, and let's go play hide and seek. This kazo though, like Kevin was saying, it's a fun little little part that, and it's in that word chikazo, the verb to play. The full part of that word. This is chikazo. Like chikazo is the verb to play. So it's like you're acting, you're playing a certain way. In fact, I'm gonna make another sentence about that. It'll be kind of fun. Let me flip this over here. So if I said, Ayani, we bokazo gishpen zagzit. Ayani, we bokazo gishpen zagzit.
Possum plays dead.
Possum.
Scared.
Yeah, you got the whole thing. The possum will play dead if he's scared. Correct. Ayani is possum. The we is the future. Mbo is dead, but mbokazo is playing dead. Gishpen, if zagzet, he's scared. Zagze is the verb to be scared. Zagzet is the conjunct form, so he's scared. So possum will play dead if he's scared. Ayani, we mbokazo gishpen zagzet.
Zagzit is scared.
Yeah, the verb itself is zagze. That's the verb zagze. But the tion just means he or she in the conjunct. Yeah. Possum will play dead if scared. Ayani we mbokazo gishpen zagzet. Yeah. Well, we've been going for a little while here. In my little faux pas at the beginning, it kind of slowed us down a little bit, but that might be, do it. Nah.
Let's make fun of the fact it's a faux pas.
Faux pas, yeah. Just throwing random words out.
I don't know
Faux
what
pas.
that means.
Yeah, my little error, my little. Yes, sir.
It's a Gishpan.
If, I'm sorry.
If.
Yes, I apologize. If, and then Ayani is possum, though my mother will always tell me that it's technically an opossum. She's a big science person. It's technically an opossum. She also likes to always inform me too that we don't have buffalo in North America. We have bison. She's correct, but people, Americans in general, kind of tend to go, oh, buffalo. The only buffalo are like water buffalo, like in Africa. And the same with possum. There's technically an O on there, so opossum. But most people just say possum. Unless you have a mother who is a science enthusiast that points those things out to you. Even then, I can't. It feels weird to write opossum because most people are like, what, opossum? Ayani, we, and then bo. That's the verb to die. And there's our kazo, play. Then if, zagzag.
So those two combined, or are they?
Yes, they're
separated?
one. They become a new verb,
Oh, wow.
bokazo.
That is cool.
And you can
I've never
add
seen
this
that
on
before.
anything. Like you could be like, I'll give you another one. You could be like, simple. No, I can't. There we go. Well, the sentence I wanted to write, it just wouldn't work. Gigabeyak, migadi kazwi. Gigabeyak, migadi kazwi.
No one understands.
That's Nimedi. That's It's got a E, like a D, like a med D. Sorry.
No,
Gigabayuk migadi cosmic. So this is the kazo, but it changes in the they form. So it's a cos week. But this
Keep
is-
y'all back. So. keep
So
y'all
this is a
back,
verb right here.
girls. Like, keep y'all back, girl,
Close, not girl.
boy,
Boys.
those boys.
So boys,
I would just
boys.
girl,
And this is they.
play. Me.
What is migadi?
Strangely, strange, weird.
That's actually that's an excellent guess. That's not right, but mig, I can see where you get that because migze
Oh.
is somebody strange. Yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
no,
Migadi.
never mind.
Migze is strange.
Why does Migadi
I
sound
don't know.
familiar?
I've heard it, but I
You've
don't
heard
know
it in
what
some of our
is.
drum songs.
Yeah, that's why I was.
We use it.
Oh, okay, I've heard it. Yeah.
We've used it in some of our songs that we do in drumming. It's used sometimes when talking about veterans
Fighting.
fighting.
Oh, good job.
Good job.
So the boys are play fighting. And our,
Migadi, God.
so Migadi, Cosby,
Cosby.
they're play fighting. Gigabayuk, Migadi, Cosby. Those boys are play fighting, or the boys are play fighting. Migadi, Gigabayuk, Migadi, Cosby. So. But that's one of those things, like I said, where you start to understand these parts of the words, and you can see words that you've never seen, or you can create words that are very specific to what you're talking about by understanding some of these parts of things. It's like that when they end in like shen, usually that has something to do with like laying on the ground or falling. So if you said like minoshin, I'm laying comfortably, or I fell comfortably. So maybe you're like a stunt actor that knows how to correctly fall, like fell comfortably. Minoshin, I'm laying comfortably. This will be contextual because, like, if somebody's like, "Hey, you want this chair?" Jipta bunne gned windan. Cho nede minoshin. No, I'm lying comfortable. Your chest up on the floor. Minoshin. You could say gwekshin and say turning while lying. So that would be like, I would demonstrate, but I probably wouldn't get back up at this point. I'd be like turning yourself while lying, like gwekshin. But yeah, understanding these parts of words is really fascinating stuff, and you can really get into some interesting things. So, but I do feel like I may have been a little heavy today with the VTA verb. So we're going to take a pause at this point, and
What was Nade
that nide notion I'm lying comfortably. So lying comfortably. So that nida is just the long form, like it's getting sloppy here, but nida, yeah, like that. Minoshin, good, lying comfortably, minoshin. You could also say, like, if you understand, like, jiptabe means to sit, but really it's the bay part that's indicating the real sit part. So if I said, like, dok mabe, that could be like sitting quietly.
Sit quiet.
Kind of like,
Kind of like dadok mabe, which is how we say behave. Dadok mabe is how we say behave. Dadok maben. What you're doing there is you're replicating it. You're saying, like, continue to sit quietly. Like, keep sitting quietly is what you're literally saying. You're like, behave. Dadok mabuk. Continue to sit quietly. Dadok mabuk. When you're saying dadok mabe. And you could even say minobe.
Good.
Sitting comfortably.
Oh,
Sitting good. Sitting comfortably. Yeah, minobe. Sitting cozy. It's cozy. Minobe.
What was Gwekshin again?
Like turning while, like gwek means to turn. Like
Okay.
turn. So it'd be like laying on the ground, turning. It was like rolling over, maybe, like, or turning directions. I mean, I can't really do it real good here to get on this table. I'd probably break the table. Last time I sat on these tables, that thing started acting like it was gonna break. Weren't you in here for that? Like I sat up on it, I was like, dang, way to get a wake up call. Like, dang, just get off the table, you're hurting me. But again, like these endings, these parts, these words, it's wild because you start to see them inside of these other parts, and you're like, oh, okay,
So would Gwekshan work for like if you're tossing and turning in bed, like
Yeah, yeah, you could be like turned around, like just kind of flipping around. Or you might even add like a ba on there. Ba is to like go about, like so you're going about turning. Ba, Gwekshan, kind of like ba or beba. Kind of just, yeah, it would work for them. Yeah. Well, like if you think about like thinking of sleeping makes me think of Medway, Johnny. Medway, Johnny. Shin, you could add a shin too to this too. So here you're saying Medway is making noise. Johnny is how it was what Josh turns into
Making noise on your nose.
your nose. So making noise with your nose, snoring while lying. So lying there snoring. Medway Johnny Shin. Or you could just say Medway Johnny. Here she's snoring. You know. But you could also take this Medway and you could understand that it has to do with noise and throw like a Juwan on here. Now it's the sound of water moving. Medway Juwan. Sound of that Juwan talks about, like water flowing. Medway Juwan, the sound of water flowing.
while
Yeah,
you were working on tech issues, I was talking to Pam about her name of the Midway Sinjuan that she has in her name.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the sound of that water flowing over the rocks.
Yeah, rapids. Yeah.
Rapids, yeah. The sound of rapids. Medway.
Hey, Justin, just Kevin, real quick question on that Gwekshan where you put ba in front. Because I was going over some prefixes that you taught or was in a class previous. Is that BA or could you use a PA too, a PA?
You can also use a ba or a ba.
Is it the same?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
Some people say ba. It's the same.
So you interchange B or
Yeah,
P.
ba or pa. Yeah.
Okay.
Bagiose, bagiose. Yeah.
Okay.
That's really just like a dialectical thing. I mean,
Okay.
you can interchange those. But yeah, you can get real fancy with like understand. You can add like you can take a simple word like nook, and you could add a bunch of stuff to it and make a really long verb. You could say like nook. Okay, what is nook?
Look,
Your arm. That makes sense why everybody said look is like nook she, but nook is your arm. It's like here's my arm. Nook. Now when it's a verb, you usually add an e to it. Okay, so nukke. So I could say like bulk nukke. So it'd be he or she broke their arm. Bulk nukke. Now I could throw on this over here. He or she broke their arm falling. Bulk nukke shin. I could go further and I could go
Kevin.
putcha bulk nukke shin. Putcha means accidentally. So now I could say, Nagi, I did, putcha bulk nukke shin. I accidentally fell and broke my arm. Nagi, putcha bulk nukke shin. I accidentally broke and fell my arm. Fell and broke my arm. I can't even say it in English now. Nagi, putcha bulk nukke shin. I did accidentally break arm. It's known to be mine because it's up here. And then falling. Again, it's lying or falling. So, and unless you just broke your arm while laying on the ground, which that would be really kind of bizarre. If there was nothing else involved, I think you would have broke it with something. Like if it just fell like, I guess if you have really bad like brittle bones under your arm could just break laying there. I don't know.
Hey, when I was pregnant with Creed, I sprained my ankle when I was like asleep in bed and woke up and couldn't walk.
Wow. Okay. So
And it was like a hardcore.
well, I mean, so I guess you theoretically, I mean, you could have, but this would be contextual. I mean, if you were talking about that particular, I think you could probably throw in there like chest up on the floor, maybe you're like in your bed and bogging up stuff. But again, Nagi bulk nucation, but you can trade these out. You could be like, okay, well, I know the word for leg is cot. So watch this. Nigi Pitchable Kadeshin. I accidentally broke my leg when falling. Bam. Or you could add some different stuff at the front. Instead of an accident, maybe you want to say you really broke it, like you broke it bad. And maybe you've got like freaking bones sticking out, or it's in like 4 pieces, or something, like you just really messed yourself up. So instead of putcha for accidentally, we'll add kitcha, which means really. Nigi kitcha bokadesh, and I really broke my leg falling. Like I broke it like all over, like I'm thinking like multiple fractures, you know. Sounds painful. Sounds painful. But you can do that kind of stuff. So these understand these parts of words is and that's the other thing is you can hear a word that you've never heard before, and you can, if you start to recognize them, you actually can figure it out kind of based on like, okay, I know that this part is, it sounds like that word, you know, for broken. It's kind of like that. So, and then you could take it all back and you could just go to like, I broke my leg. Like if you just don't want to say all this, you don't say, I really broke it bad. You take off your kitcha, your bad. Just leave your bok on there. Take off the shin. I broke my leg. You bokade. Not falling, but however, I just broke my leg. But I'll leave y'all with those wondering thoughts of depth, hopefully, that you can think about as we finish off class today. So, miigwech, Jack, hope you all enjoyed class. Again, those VTA verbs, be patient with yourselves. Do not feel frustrated. They will take a while to learn. That's a guarantee. If you can walk out of here and know your VTAs after just looking at it once, man, I'm jealous. I'm just jealous. If you can get those.
Justin,
Yes, ma'am.
last week you had mentioned some sort of an event in Michigan. Do you remember what the name of it was?
Probably the pot on together. Was that what I was talking about?
Possible. It was like end of July.
Yes, July 25th through is it August 1st or 2nd is the Potawatomi Gathering. This year it's in Escanaba, Michigan. There is a bus if you live local that they'll actually will drive up with a bus. Sometimes they'll pick people up if they live along the route. They picked me up once in Kansas City because they happened to be going that way. But yeah, I think you have to be like, you have to be somewhere near the route, or maybe you can meet them at the route. So like they're basically heading north. So like if you lived in Iowa, for example, and they're going to go through Iowa, you know, they could probably meet you in like Des Moines and just jump on the bus and head on up.
So
But
here's another question. Is it open to the public?
it's open to Potawatomis. I don't, and I think you can bring like a guest or something with you. I mean, if you have like a spouse or a relative. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Most of the time, it just depends the host tribe. Some tribes are more like, hey, let me see your ID. Because the thing is, they have to feed an incredible number of people. Because if you figure all the Potawatomis from like all the different groups are coming, you could have 10,000 people there. You could have 5,000. You could have a very large number of people. So if you don't check IDs, you could have everybody in town and the next town over coming over like, hey, at 5 o'clock, there's a free dinner at, on the reservation. And you could have like out of control numbers. So it kind of depends the host tribe. Some of them are a little more like, hey, show your ID. Some are just like, yeah, okay, put the pot on the together, come on down kind of thing. So I would say it just kind of depends. I mean, if you're a tribal member of any Potawatomi group, you should be able to have any problems.
I'm not.
If you're not, you might be able to go. I would just contact maybe even the people in Hannahville. It's the Hannahville Potawatomis that are putting it on. You might say, hey, well, maybe not even say that though. See, that's if you said that, you'd be like earmarking yourself if you did it. Like if you tried to go. I mean, it depends how close you are, I guess, really, when it comes down to it. Because if you probably don't want to go somewhere if you drive like 10 hours to get there and then get turned away at the door. But
I think I'm probably about 4 or 5 hours. I'm not exactly sure where Hannahville is.
well, I will say the language conference is in the casino. And it starts on the 25th. So I don't think you can't not get into that. I mean, it's in the casino. So, I mean,
Okay.
we'll welcome you into the casino, I'm sure. Now, the rest of the stuff, I can't guarantee anything, but the first 2 days at least are actually the language conference. It starts the 25th, 26th. So you shouldn't have any issue with that. But after that, I mean, you probably won't have any issue, but I don't want to tell you you 100% won't because I can't guarantee that.
Some digging and this at least gives me somewhere to start.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Let me see if I answer. I got a lot of questions I didn't answer, I see. So let me real quick here. If you had a question, I didn't
Well,
answer.
I think most of that was just us talking and
Oh, okay, like tell them about
About the
how to do
keyboard.
that. Got you. How to use the diacritical thing and stuff. Okay, good deal. So I feel bad. I didn't really
Big
answer.
words.